Welcome to the audio blog here at StrikeKing.com. We're going to do a little Q&A. Elite Series Pro Team member Mark Davis today. We're going to do 6 questions in 6 minutes. These are questions posed to Mark via the Strike King Facebook fan page, as well as the StrikeKing.com forum. First question we got was from a young lady named Rebecca Tatum, and she wants to know, Mark, if you have any lucky charms.
Oh, Rebecca, I really don't have any per se lucky charms. And I glance over here at my wife when I say that. I used to have a rock that I carried, and it's long been lost, but I really don't. Other than, if I feel like I'm lucky anytime I can have my family with me going to these events, and probably my twin boys, Hunter and Fisher, would be my lucky charms if I had one.
Good. Now, how old are Hunter and Fisher now?
Hunter and Fisher are 8.
All right, Scott Catton wants to know, when was the last time you honestly used a bobber to catch a fish?
Oh, God, I use bobbers to catch fish all the time, man. I mean, I bass fish for a living, but I also love to crappie fish and brim, and of course, having twin boys that are 8 years old, we're all the time catching fish with a bobber. And I have even used bobbers, in competition and tournaments. It's been a long time since I've done that, but what is now known as a float fly out in East Tennessee, but we've been doing that with a crappie jig in Arkansas forever, catching bass and crappie alike. So I have not caught anything with a bobber so far in 2010, but I caught a lot of fish last year. Last fall I was catching fish with a bobber.
All right, on to question number 3. Justin McCall wants to know, what's more important, Mark, as a pro angler, air temperature or water temperature or barometric pressure when you're going out for these events?
That's a good question. I would have to say it's a little bit of all those, but I would say water temperature. It depends on the time of the year. It really does, because there are times of the year when the barometer plays a really big role, and not to say that it doesn't play a role all the time, but let me rank it this way. I would rank water temperature number 1 consideration, barometric pressure number 2, and air temperature number 3. Air temperature really has very little to do with it, other than you've got warming trends and you've got cooling trends in the fall that can a prolonged trend of weather and air temperature can definitely change what the fish are doing, or they can push them in one way or the other, or make them bite or not bite. But water temperature, especially in the spring, especially this time of the year, that is the real triggering mechanism that's going to make these fish start biting. And when the water's down, really, really cold, like it is over much of the United States right now, we're just looking for that. 48 for me is kind of the magic number. Things kind of come to life when the water temperature gets to 48. But now let me say this too. When the water's been really, really cold for a long time, and then it jumps 4 or 5 degrees real quickly, rapidly, over just a 3-day period, that has the same effect. In other words, the water may still be cold, but it warmed up 4 or 5 degrees quickly, and it'll turn the fish on. It really will.
All right, Chad wants to know, how can you tell the difference when you're on a school of fish or if it's just one?
That's a good question, Chad. And there's really no way to know that without catching some of them. When I find a place where I'm always looking for my ultimate goal when I'm out there looking for fish. I'm looking for that school, and you catch one. And a lot of times, if the conditions are tough, one fish gives the whole school away, and sometimes you don't always know. In other words, you may catch this one fish that the conditions are bad, the fish really aren't wanting to bite. You need to look at your electronics. You need to really pay a lot of attention to try to determine whether there is a school of fish there, or was it just one fish. And here's the things that I look at. and a lot of this will come with experience. And when I catch a fish and he's on a spot or an area where there should be a scuba fish, I'm gonna fish it some more. Obviously, right after I catch that fish, and I may return to that same little spot right there and try it again throughout the day, or maybe even on my next trip to the lake to try to figure out, was that a scuba fish or was it just one? But if it's, if you're structure fishing, you catch just one bass off of a piece of cover along a ledge, a lot of times, that was the only fish that was there. But use your electronics and just the likelihood of, is this spot special? Is there something unique about it that would cause a scuba fish to hold there? And I let all those factors determine whether I think there's a scuba bass there. But at the end of the day, the only way you know for sure is to keep throwing in there and keep changing lures until you get some more of those fish in that school to bite.
Good deal. That's some good information. All right, 2 more here and you're done, Hall. Spencer Williams wants to know, how often do you change your line during tournament fishing?
Spencer, it really depends upon the size of the line, how much I'm using that particular rod and reel. Now, let me say, if I'm using a rod and reel and I'm fishing a jig or a Carolina rig or casting a worm or something like that, and I fish with basically one rod and reel all day, I'm going to change it every day. But if it's one I'm using sporadically throughout the day, I probably will not change it. I'm just going to retie it. And then the other thing you have to think about is, spinning gear. If you're fishing with spinning gear, and if I feel like if I make, 200, 300 casts with a spinning outfit, I'm probably going to change that line out. In a tournament situation, I'm probably going to change that spinning rod line out on a daily basis.
All right, last one. I think you'll like this. Ken wants to know, where in the world did you learn how to dance like you did on the Sexy Swimmer commercial?
Man, I tell you, I have taken so much grief about that the Sexy Swimmer commercial. I've had people come up to me in the mall and just on the street and all kinds of people I have no idea who they are. And they give me a lot of ribbon and a lot of kidding about that. But, you guys just didn't know what a dancer I really am. I mean, I'm kind of rusty now, but in my day, I was quite a dancer. But I don't know about all this new kind of dancing, this swim bait dancing. I think maybe we invented swim bait dancing. I mean, that might be something that kind of sweeps the nation. The verdict's still out on that. I think it's just great to be a part of that. The swim bait dance, I mean, that's a new deal.
Well, Mark, we look for you when you win one of these Elite Series events here coming up. We look for you to do the old swim bait dance across the stage as you hold that trophy above your head. So,
if I can win one out here, you'll see this boy right here do a swim bait dance. I may do, no telling what I'll do.
Mark, thanks for calling in today. Please be safe, and good luck out there on the tour this year, and we look forward to talking to you soon.
Thanks a lot, Chris. Enjoyed it.